Hi there. In previous video, we learned about root CSS Pseudo Selector. In this video, we will look a selection CSS Pseudo Selector with few examples. Have you noticed that when you select a text, the background color changes and the color shows up here? Right. You can change the background color and the color of the selected text by styling this selection. So styling the pseudo element is a great for matching user selected text to your site's color scheme. For example, we have one paragraph. We have one paragraph, and let me just take some content here. For example, when you want to select this text, you want to change the color of this background and this text color as well. So what you can do? You can write down paragraph and selection. Here you can give background color red and color yellow. So you can see. Let it get reload. So when you double click, as you can see, the background color is now red and text color is yellow. Right. So you need to take a note here. The double colon is necessary in this syntax. As you can see here, this is double colon. You must have to use double colon. Single column is not valid, right? So some other pseudo elements accept the single colon, but this selection pseudo selector is necessary having the double colon. So as you can see here, you can style selection on individual elements as well. You can also style the entire page by dropping the pseudo element in your style. Like you can simply remove this paragraph and this style will apply for the complete document. Let's see. So when you select any text on this web page, it will work fine. So you can use like this as well. There are only three properties that selection will work with. The first one is color, the second one is background and background color and background image. And the third one is text shadow. So you need to keep this in your mind when you are using the selection pseudo selector. If you try to style selection with a property that is not on the list, then that property will be ignored. It may be tricky seeing the background is in that list because the property will only render a color when used on selection and it won't render a background image or background gradient, right? So you can't use like this p and pose selection. You can't use like this p selection and color red. You can't use like this. When browser find a part of a select they don't understand, they drop the entire thing. So this will fail all the time. So this you shouldn't use anytime. One of the most helpful use for the selection is turning off a text shadow during the selection. A text shadow can clash with the selection's background color and make the text difficult to read. Set text shadow to none to make the text clear and easy to read during the selection. So let me simply remove this. So we have one paragraph, right? And we have another paragraph. Let me just copy another content so you can see the difference. And let's say this paragraph is having some class. For example is a class, right? So in CSS, while you select the paragraph, you can write down a paragraph selection and background is light blue, for example, and example is the class name and selection pseudo text shadow to none. Okay, but before this, let's comment it out. Here in paragraph, you can give text shadow to 1 pixel, 2 pixel, 1 pixel, and some color. For example, C7292 is a color. Okay. C792, yeah, you can give another color. So this is the text shadow color. C79292. C79292. Yeah. This is, yeah. So this is the text shadow default. So let's see when you open the paragraph. So text shadow is getting applied by default. Right. So let's comment, and when you double click on this paragraph, the shadow is not there. So when you click on this paragraph, shadow is still there because by default text shadow is applying to all the paragraphs. And for this specific example, we have removed this text shadow to none so that we can also give the color. Let's see, white color. And now this is more readable. The text shadow is not there because text shadow is given none. So this is another practical example that you can use this selection pseudo selector. Right. Another practical example that you can use is a fancy selection. Like when you use the SAS or any other preprocessor, you can make really cool effects with the selection using the like you can give the properties like text or font style, the bold, italic, and when user double click, you can simply remove these styles from the text and it will look better. User can read that content in a better way. So this is another example that you can use this selection pseudo selector. Let's talk about the browser support. So browser support is very good for desktop. It is supported by Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge, and Safari. But for mobile, it is supported by Android Chrome, Android Firefox, Android, but iOS Safari is not supporting this property. So you need to keep this in your mind while using this selection CSS pseudo selector. Okay, so that's all for this CSS pseudo selector in this video. If you are new, please subscribe to my channel and give us a like. See you next time around. Thank you.